Hello, in this video we are going to see if you've seen any of these non-native plants that are in different grasslands that we've been talking about. So we have a PowerPoint and you're going to look at pictures of these plants and you're just going to tell me what is their common name and have you seen them. So the PowerPoint will tell you what their common name is, and um, we'll go over where it's at, and then you'll just tell me if you've seen it or not. Unfortunately, the pictures aren't great, so if you think you've seen it, just put a yes. And here we go into the PowerPoint.
All right, so the first part of this lesson is we are seeing if you have seen any of these non-native species in your travels around Brentwood or around California. And hopefully you've seen some. If not, then hopefully you'll start noticing them because they are pretty much everywhere. So the first one is wild oat. And what you're going to be doing is filling out this chart from your paper as we move through this. So Avena fatua, and it's wild oat, and I filled that out for you. Here, go ahead and grab my laser pointer so it's a little easier to see. So wild oat, which is this, that's been filled out, and I want to know, have you seen this around? And this plant is native to the Mediterranean, and if you did not know, California is a Mediterranean climate. So anything that grew there is probably going to grow here pretty well. And this was introduced mostly by the cattle. It might have been, the seeds might have been in feed that was being fed to the cattle, and then the cattle would eat it, and then they would poop it out, so these seeds would have a nice fertile environment, and they started growing all over the hills of California, and they spread to other places. So you would say yes or no, and I'm going to say you probably have seen this, or I've seen it anyway, so I put yes. Let's move on to our next one. So the next one is Brassica nigra. And again, I go to my chart, and here it is, Brassica nigra. So I'm going to go ahead and write its common name, and that is black mustard. So black mustard would go, whoops, there it is. Black mustard would go right there. All right, and we want to know, have you seen this around? And again, this is a Mediterranean plant, as you'll see most of these very invasive ones are, and so they grow very well because our climate is a Mediterranean climate in California. And have you seen this? And in this case, I'll say maybe you haven't seen it, even though it's everywhere. Although most likely you have. It has these pretty yellow flowers on it. So we go to our next one, Bromus deandrus. And again, you would go to your chart and Bromus deandrus, and you would write its common name, which is ripcut brome. That would go right there. And again, you've probably seen this all over the place. This is the stuff that gets in your socks if you're walking through a field. Very, very conducive to traveling, as these seeds can get into you and then be carried to other places. And so I didn't do this part, and you can do it and tell me if you've seen it or not. And we're going to follow along. This chart is not going to come up anymore. So the next one is red stem fillery, which is Erodium circutarium. And again, you can actually see this in the IHS garden because it is prolific everywhere. It's really pretty. It has little purple flowers, and you can see these long duckbills on them. They're also called duckbill fillery. And they have red stems. So if you've seen this around, go ahead and put yes or no. The next one, and I know you might have seen this, which is smooth cat's ear. And these tend to be on the ground, low growing, yellow flowers. Again, Mediterranean, Europe is where they come from, so they do very well here. And you can answer yes or no if you've seen these around. And again, they're probably in the IHS garden also. Okay, Olea europea, common name olive. So if you've been out on Balfour, you've probably seen these. We have the Macaulay Olive Orchard out there, and they have olives. And again, native to European Europe. And you may not have seen these, or you may have seen them and not even known it. But go ahead and just be honest. Put yes or no. The mission cactus, or Upunta ficus indica, which is native to Mexico. All right, and it is like dry, hot climates, which is similar to Brentwood. So you might have seen this around in different people's gardens. Okay, the native annual bluegrass, which is Poya annua, in Mediterranean climate. So I'm almost positive you probably have seen this. They're very small. They have these little seeds on it, and if you have a lawn, you probably have them there, and easily propagated everywhere. And finally, the sheep sorrel, Rumex acetosella, okay, native Mediterranean. And again, you've probably seen this and you don't even know it. So if this looks familiar, go ahead and put yes. If not, then just put no. But again, if you look around, you probably see it more often than you would know.